Act 1 of Mithridates by Jean Racine, translated by Robert Bruce Boswell. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Introduction to Mithridates. Mithridates appeared in 1673. None of the characters impress one with any very lively feeling. The struggle in Zephyrus between amorous rivalry and filial devotion is perhaps the nearest approach made to powerful treatment. The play has a tragic ending so far as the fate of the nominal hero is concerned, but the chief interest of the reader or spectator is centered in the mutual affection of Monima and Zephyrus, from the free indulgence of which all obstacles are removed by the final catastrophe. The closing scene, however, is one of sorrow and lamentation, in which the cry of "How are the mighty fallen" suffers no sound of rejoicing to be heard. The historical features of the character and career of Mithridates VI are in the main preserved, but Racine has complicated his relations with his sons by representing Monima as exerting an influence over them which is due to his own romantic imagination. Monima was in reality put to death by order of Mithridates to prevent her falling into the hands of his previous conqueror Lucullus. This was in the year BC 71, whereas his own death did not occur till BC 63. Dramatis Personae.
Mithridates, King of Pontus and of many other lands. Read by Greg Giordano.
Monima, betrothed to Mithridates and already declared queen. Read by Sonia.
Pharnaces, son of Mithridates. Read by Jen Broda.
Zephyrus, son of Mithridates. Read by Tchaikovsky.
Arbates, friend of Mithridates and governor of Nymphaeum. Read by Todd.
Phidima, friend of Monima. Read by Wendy Katzhiller.
Arcas, servant of Mithridates. Read by Joanna Michael Hoyt.
Stage directions read by Alan Mapstone. The scene is laid at Nymphaeum, a seaport on the Cimmerian Bosphorus in the Tauric Chersonesus, now the Crimea. Mithridates. A tragedy. Act 1, Scene 1, Zephyrus Arbates.
We have received a true report, Arbates. Rome triumphs. Mithridates is no more. The Romans in a night attack surprised my father's wonted prudence near Euphrates. The conflict was a long one, but at last his army routed, left him on the field among the slain, and into Pompey's hand. A soldier, as I bear his sword and crown, delivered, thus he who for 40 years has baffled all Rome's bravest generals, and in the East with uniform success maintained the common cause of all her kings, dies, leaving 2 ill-fated sons behind, at variance with each other, to avenge him.
You and your brother, Prince, and does desire to mount your father's throne already make you a foe to Pharnaces?
Nay, at such a price I would not buy Arbates, the mere wreckage of an ill-fated empire. I respect his birthright and contend with the states assigned to me. We shall see without regret all that Rome's friendship promises fall ready into his hands.
Rome's friendship with a son of Mithridates? Is it true, my lord?
Aye, Pharnaces has long at heart been a Roman, and now on Rome and Pompey rest his hopes, while I, more faithful to my sire than ever, still to the Romans vow undying hatred. But 'tis the least source of our strife that rises from his pretensions and my enmity.
What other motive arms your wrath against him?
I shall surprise you. This fair Monima, who won the king our father's heart, of whom my brother since declares himself the lover.
Well, prince?
I love her, and may my own passion, now that that brother is my only rival. Doubtless you wonder at the words I speak, but 'tis no secret of a few short days. Long has this love of mine grown up in silence. How could I make you realize its ardor, my earliest sighs, my latest disappointment? But in the state to which we are reduced, 'tis no fit time to task my memory with the recital of an amorous tale. Let it suffice to justify myself that it was I who first beheld the queen, and loved her. Ere the name of Monima had reached my father's ears, her charms had roused a lawful passion in my heart. He saw her and courted her, but with unworthy suit, deeming that she would prove an easy conquest, without presuming to claim marriage honors. You know how warmly he assailed her virtue, and weary of a long and fruitless struggle, absent but never parted from his passion, he, by your hands, sent her his diadem. Judge of my grief, when tidings came that told too truly of the purpose of the king, how Monima, his destined bride, had taken her journey hither under your protection. 'Twas then, odious time, my mother's eyes were opened to the offers of the Romans, whether in jealous rage at these new nuptials, or to procure me Pompey's powerful favor. My father she betrayed and gave to Rome, the town and treasures to her care entrusted. How did my mother's crime affect my feelings? No more I saw a rival in my father. I thought not of the love his own had crossed, and had no eyes but for my father's wrongs. Soon I attacked the Romans, and my mother, distracted, saw me wounded to the death, recovering the place she had surrendered, and with my dying breath cursing her name. Since then the Euxine has been free, and so remains, from Pontus to the Bosphorus. All owned my father's sway. His fleet victorious found winds and waves its only enemies. More I would fain have done. I thought, Arbates, to march upon Euphrates to his rescue, when I was stunned by tidings of his death. But mingled with my tears, I will confess it, back to my thoughts came charming Monima. Entrusted by my father to your hands in these sad times, I trembled for her life, dreading that in his cruel jealousy the king, as oft before with many a mistress, might means have taken to secure her death. Hither I flew, and 'neath Nymphaeum's walls my anxious eyes encountered Pharnaces, a sight, I trow, of evil augury. You received both of us, and know the rest. Hasty in all his actions, Pharnaces, of his presumptuous wishes, made no secret, related to the queen my father's ruin, and since the king was dead, offered himself to fill his place. Nor will his deeds fall short of words. I too will show what I can do. The love that bade me reverence a sire, to whom from childhood I have owned submission, this very love, now rising in revolt, scorns the authority of this new rival. Either the suit I venture to advance must be by Monima herself rejected, or else whatever ill may come of it, she shall not be another's while I live. Thus I have told the secrets of my heart. With you it rests to choose the side you take. Which of us seems the worthier of allegiance, the slave of Rome, or Mithridates' son? Proud of her friendship, Pharnaces no doubt thinks to command all here, and to dictate to me where I refuse to own his power. His heritage is Pontus, Colchis mine, and ever have the Colchian princes claimed this Bosphorus as to their realms belonging.
Whatever strength I have is at your service. My choice is made already. I will do my duty, and the selfsame zeal and valour with which I served your father and maintained this place against your brother and yourself, now that the king is dead, shall aid your efforts against all foes. Had it not been for you, my certain death would, I know well, have followed your brother's entrance, and my blood have stained these ramparts which he vainly sought to storm. As to the queen, you need not fear her choice, and for the rest, unless false shadows mock me, Pharnaces soon will leave you master here, to reap elsewhere the harvest of Rome's bounty.
Thanks, dear Arbates. But I hear a footstep. Leave me, my friend. 'Tis Monima herself.
Scene 2. Monima, Ziphares.
My lord, I come to you, for if today you help me not, then my last hope is gone. Orphaned and friendless, full of fears, forsaken, long called a queen, yet all the time a captive, a widow now, though never yet a wife, these are, my lord, the lightest of my woes. I tremble in your ears to breathe the name of my oppressor, but a heart so great will not, I trust, to ties of kindred blood between you, sacrifice the tears of grief. Ay, now you know his name. 'Tis Pharnaces. 'Tis he, my lord, whose criminal presumption would by main force fast bind me to himself in wedlock, that to me were worse than death. What baleful star must on my birth have shone? Destined to loveless union with another, scarce am I free to taste a moment's peace, when to a yoke yet heavier I must bend. Perchance, more humble in my misery, I should remember that it is his brother to whom I speak. But whether reason prompts, or fate, or hatred, that with him confounds the Rome whose aid he seeks, no marriage yet was ever more odious than the one I dread. And if I cannot move you with my tears, if I have naught to trust but my despair, at the same altar where I stand a bride, you shall see Monima, thus only freed from tyranny, fall, stricken to the heart, a heart that never was hers to give away.
Madam, of my obedience rest assured. Here your authority is paramount. Let Pharnaces, if so he will, elsewhere, make himself dreaded. But you know not yet all your distress.
Ah, what fresh trouble then frowns upon Monima?
If loving you is sin, not Pharnaces alone is guilty. My crime is worse 1,000 times than his.
Yours?
Reckon this the climax of misfortunes. Invoke the heavenly powers, if so you must. Against a seed accursed, born to torment and persecute you, sire and sons alike, but however bitter the surprise with which you hear me own this fatal love, never could all your woes together reach the anguish of my efforts to conceal it. Yet think not that, like Pharnaces my brother, I serve you now to take his place hereafter. You would be free, I pledge my word you shall be, neither on Pharnaces nor me dependent. But when your wishes have been satisfied, where will you choose the place of your retreat? In regions far remote, or near my states? Shall I be suffered to escort you thither? With the same eye will you regard my homage and his oppression? Flying from my rival, from me too will you fly? And for reward of faithful service, banish me for ever?
What is this you tell me?
If advantage in time, fair Monima, confers a right, here I assure you it was I who first saw and admired, resolved to make you mine. And when to my sire unknown your budding charms rejoiced your mother's eye, and hers alone, if by my duty forced to quit your side, I could not all my ardent love display, have you lost all remembrance of the grief with which I oft bewailed that sad constraint? Have you forgotten my last fond farewells at parting from the sight of your sweet eyes? My heart alone retains those memories. Confess that I recall a vanished dream. While far from you, and hopeless of return, I cherish still an unrequited love. You, well content to wed my sire, scarce heaved a single sigh in sympathy for me.
Alas!
Did my distress one moment move you?
Prince, do not mock me in my misery.
Mock you? Ye gods! When eager to defend you, daring to press no claim, asking for nothing, what shall I say then, when I give my promise to place you where you ne'er shall see me more?
You promise what you never will perform.
What? Will you not believe my solemn oath? Think you that I shall so abuse my power, and that I mean to curb your liberty? Explain yourself, I pray you. Someone comes, one word.
Protect me from your brother's rage. To make me grant consent to see you, sir, you need not have recourse to tyranny.
Ah, madam.
Prince, you see your brother comes.
Scene 3. Monima, Pharnaces, Zipares.
How long will you expect my father, madam? Fresh witness to his death arrives each moment to satisfy your doubt and chide delay. Come, fly with me from this delightless clime, whose savage aspect cannot but remind you of bondage hard. Obedient subjects wait you 'neath happier skies, and worthier of your charms. Pontus has long acknowledged you her queen, still wears your brow the royal diadem as token of your sovereignty, and pledge of her assured submission to your sway. I, by my father's will, am master there, and 'tis my privilege to keep his promise. But trust me, time is pressing. Tarry not. Our marriage and departure must be hastened. Our common interests and my heart demand it. My ships are ready, waiting to receive you, and from the altar you may go aboard, queen of the seas that are to bear you hence.
Such kindness, sir, I find too overwhelming, but since time presses, and I needs must answer, may I without disguise freely express the secret feelings of my heart?
You may, and that without reserve.
To you, I think, my origin is known. Of Ephesus a native, but of royal ancestry. Kings were my sires, or heroes whom erewhile Greece for their virtues ranked higher than kings. When Mithridates saw me, Ephesus and all Ionia crowned his prosperous arms. This pledge of faithful love he deigned to send me, my family presumed not to dispute his sovereign will. A slave, though crowned, I went to be his bride as fortune had ordained. While he in Pontus waited to receive me, new projects called him thence, and he obeyed the summons to wage war against the Romans, sending me hither to avoid the storm. I came, and here I still abide. My father paid dear, however, for that dangerous honour. For the first victim of victorious Rome was Philopoemen, sire of Monima, a fatal title costing him his life. It was to speak of that I wished to see you. However justly moved to indignation, I have no army to oppose to Rome. Helpless I witness all her injuries, no sceptre mine, nor soldiers to avenge me, only a heart to feel. All I can do is to be faithful to my filial duty, nor in my father's blood imbrue my hands by wedding you, the sworn ally of Rome.
Why speak you thus of Rome and her alliance? Why this suspicion and these words of anger? Who told you that the Romans are my friends?
Can you, my lord, deny that so it is? How could you offer welcome as a queen to me, where all the land is in their power? Did not a secret treaty with the Romans smooth your way thither and secure your throne?
I might inform you of my purposes, for which I have good reasons, and could state them, if, leaving once for all these vain disguises, you had explained to me your secret feelings. But now, long baffled, I begin to gather the meaning of your manifold excuses. I see an interest you would fain conceal, another than a father prompts your speech.
Whatever motive may inspire her words, at least, sir, they deserve no doubtful answer, nor should you your just resentment against Rome. One moment hesitate to burst in fury. What, after having learned our sire's disgrace, slow to avenge him, swift to fill his place, shall we forget our honor and his blood? We know that he is dead, but he may lie unburied, while your soul, eager with hope, dwells on the thought of hymeneal bliss. This king whom all the East, full of his feats, may justly name her last and greatest hero, in his own realms deprived of funeral rites, or laid dishonored mid a meaner crowd, perchance accuses heaven's unjust neglect. And two unworthy sons who dare not fight for vengeance, why should we lurk longer here? If any prince still free in all the world, Parthian, Sarmatian, Scythian, loves his freedom, there let us find allies and march beside them, to live or die, true sons of Mithridates. Whatever love beguiles us, let us think rather of rescue from a foreign yoke, than of constraining hearts that will not yield.
He knows your feelings. Was I wrong, fair lady? Your father and my fancied league with Rome are but the pretext for a stronger reason.
Her secret feelings are to me unknown, but if I thought like you that I could read them, I would submit my claims to their decision.
You would do well, and I too know my duty. I am not bound to copy your example.
Here know I none at least who may presume to shape his conduct on another model.
So might you boast in Colchis, I admit.
Here and in Colchis is my right the same.
Not here, I ween, if you would scape destruction.
Scene 4. Monima, Pharnaces, Zipares, Phedima.
Princes, the sea is all alive with ships, and soon, despite the tidings of his death, will Mithridates disembark in person.
The king!
My father!
What is this I hear?
Despatch boats have arrived to bring the news. 'Tis he himself, and prompt to pay due homage, Arbates goes to greet him ere he lands.
Zipares to Monima.
What have we done?
Monima to Zipares.
Farewell, prince. Wondrous tidings.
Scene 5. Pharnaces, Zipares. Pharnaces aside.
The king returns. Ah, cruel stroke of fortune. My life and love are both in jeopardy. The expected Romans will arrive too late. What shall I do?
To Zipares.
I know your heart is sore. I can imagine her sad words at parting, but this is not the time to speak of that. Cares more important task our thoughts today. The king returns, perchance implacable. More dreadful he, the more unfortunate. The peril is far worse than you suppose. We verily are guilty, and you know him, how rarely tenderness disarms his rage. His sons can have no more relentless judge, has shown to 2 of them who died the victims of mere suspicion. We have greater reason to fear, each for himself and for the queen. I pity her the more he loves her. For amorous ardor piques his jealousy, and hatred ever far outstrips his love. Place no reliance on his past affection. His jealous fury will burn all the fiercer. Consider well. The favor of the army is yours. I speak not of mine own resources. Be ruled by me. Let us secure our pardon, make ourselves masters of this place, and so force him to offer to his sons such terms as they shall be contented to accept.
I recognize my guilt, and know my father, my mother's crime besides have I to bear. But though my eyes are dazzled still with love, when comes my sire, I cannot but obey him.
Let us at least be faithful to each other. You know my secret, I have read your own. The king, devising ever dangerous wiles, will turn our slightest words to our destruction. You know his way, how tenderness can mask deceitful hatred. Lead, and I will follow, since it must needs be so. But while submitting to duty, let us scorn to act the traitor.
End of Act 1. Act 2 of Mithridates by Jean Racine. Translated by Robert Bruce Boswell. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Act 2, Scene 1. Monima, Phedima.
What? You here still when Mithridates lands? When all are flocking to the shore in welcome? What mean you, madam? What remembrance checks your steps and makes you turn them back? Will you offend a king whose soul adores you only, almost his wife?
Not yet, dear Phedima. Until that time I think my duty bids me await him here, and not go forth to greet him.
Nay, You must not regard him as a lover of common rank. Betrothed to this great king, bound by a father's promise, you have pledges which, when he will, the solemn rites of marriage may ratify. Go forth and show yourself.
See, would you have me meet him as I am? Look at this tear-stained face, and tell me rather to hide myself than seek his presence thus.
Heavens, what is this?
It kills me, his return. Wretch that I am, how can I dare to face him? His diadem on my brow, and in my heart, can you not read its secret in these blushes?
What, is it so? Crushed by the same alarms that made you shed so many tears in Greece, your path seems always crossed by Zephyres.
Greater than you can think is my distress. Then in my thoughts I dwelt on Zephyres only as noble, virtuous, and brave. I knew not that, inflamed with love for me, he was of mortals the most amorous.
He loves you, madam? And this charming hero
is no less wretched Phidima than I. His heart adores me, and the self-same sorrow that here tormented me elsewhere consumed him.
Knows he how far he has secured your favor? Is he aware you love him?
No, dear friend, heaven guarded me from that. I kept strict silence, or said at most but half of what I felt. Ah, if you only knew how this sad heart has striven its resolution to maintain, what conflicts, what assaults I have endured! Hark, Phidima, I never more will see him, if I can help it. Vain were all my efforts. I should be forced to speak were I again to see his grief. He'll come in spite of me, and tear my secret from me. But no joy his love will thence derive. So dear the cost, 'twere better had his bliss remained unknown.
See, they are coming. What is to be done?
I cannot, will not meet him thus distracted.
Scene 2. Mithridates, Pharnaces, Zephyres, Arbates, guards.
Princes, whatever excuses you may frame, your duty never should have brought you hither, nor made you quit, at such a time of need, Pontus and Colchis to your care confided. But an indulgent father is your judge. Those rumors you believed, which I myself dispersed, and since you wish it, I will deem you guiltless, and thank heaven for this our meeting. Vanquished as I have been, and all but shipwrecked, I nurse a project worthy of my courage, of which you soon shall learn the full details. But go and leave me to repose a moment.
Scene 3. Mithridates, Arbates.
A year is gone, and once again you see me, but not as erst the favourite child of Fortune, who kept the destinies of Rome suspended, her rival for the empire of the world. I have been conquered. Pompey took advantage of darkness that left little room for courage. My troops unarmed, or in the gloom affrighted, their ranks attacked on all sides unawares, while wild disorder magnified their fears, and made them turn their weapons on their comrades. Loud cries terrific from the rocks resounding, all the worst horrors of a midnight conflict. In such confusion what could valor do to help us? Many fell, flight saved the rest. So great the panic that I owe my life to tidings of my slaughter left behind me. Some time unrecognized, I crossed the Phasis, thence to the foot of Caucasus I pressed. Soon I took shipping ready in the Euxine, and joined the scattered fragments of my army. Thus driven by disastrous fortune hither, in Bosphorus I find new woes await me. With the same love you see me still inflamed, as ever, and this heart, though fed with carnage, and hungry still, despite the weight of years, and dire misfortunes, passionately clings to Monima. Wherever I roam and finds its worst foes here in two ungrateful sons.
Both of them, sire?
Listen, my rage admits that Xiphares is different from his brother. I know him, ever to my will obedient, hating our common foe as much as I do, and I have seen his valor justify my secret tenderness, displayed to please me. I know, too, I know, with what despair, to every other claim preferring duty, he hastened to disown a faithless mother, and from her crime won a fresh crown of glory. I dare not, cannot think that, after all, so good a son has wilfully offended. But what concern had either of them here? Have they not both made offers to the Queen, to which seems secretly her heart inclined? And with what looks shall I myself accost her? Speak, strongly as I feel her sweet attraction. I must be told how matters stand between them. What has occurred? What have you seen? What know you? How came you to submit? Since when? And why?
8 days ago did Pharnaces come first beneath these walls, with his authority confirming the vague rumour of your death, impatient for admittance. But no heed paid I to what I deemed his rash assertions, and deaf remained, until the prince, his brother less by his words, my liege, than by his tears, assured me of their truth on his arrival.
What did they then?
Scarce had the former entered, when in hot haste he urged his amorous suit, and promised as her husband to secure to her the diadem your hand bestowed.
The traitor! What, without a moment given, to shed the tears that to my shade were due? What of his brother?
Till this day his conduct has betrayed no sign of love, but all his soul, in sympathy with yours, has seemed to breathe no thought but war and vengeance.
What purpose brought him hither then, Arbates?
That you will learn sooner or later, sire.
Speak, I command you. I must hear it now.
E'en till this very day his plea has been that he was justified, after your death, in reckoning this province as his own, and, calling courage to support his claim, he came to take his heritage by force.
That were the least reward he could expect. Should heaven permit me to bequeath my power, I breathe once more, Arbates, glad at heart. I trembled, I confess, both for a son beloved, and for myself, lest I had lost so sure a stay, and found myself at war with such a rival, not like Pharnaces, who has so long confronted my displeasure, and, holding Rome in secret admiration, has ne'er opposed her but with sore reluctance, and with favour Monima regards him, lavish elsewhere of love that is my due. Then woe betide the wretch who comes to rob me, defies his father, and disdains his yoke. Say, does she love him?
Here she comes, my liege.
Scene 4. Mithridates, Monima.
Madam, kind heaven at last has brought me back to you, and seconding my tender wishes, restores you to my love fairer than ever. I little thought that I should have to wait so long to celebrate our marriage rites, nor that misfortune, marking my return, would show my sorrow rather than my love. Yet 'tis that love which leads me to your side, nor let me choose another place of refuge, and my worst troubles lose their bitterness, if but my presence here brings none to you, to tell me so. Only vouchsafe to hear me. Have you not long looked forward to this day? You wear a pledge of my sincerity, which ever tells you that you are my own. Come then, and let us seal our mutual vows. Far hence the voice of glory summons us, and, without hindrance to this grand design, wedded to-day, we must depart to-morrow.
Your will is law. The authors of my life their sovereign empire have on you conferred. Whenever you choose to exercise that right, I have no other answer but to obey.
So, madam, to an irksome yoke submissive, you to the altar go, but as a victim? And I, constraining a reluctant heart, shall owe no thanks to you for its possession. Think you that such compliance can content me? Must I henceforth, despairing of your love, aspire to be your tyrant, nothing more? Have my misfortunes then made you despise me? Ah, were I yet new conquests to attempt, with every obstacle to check my march, to lower depths cast down by hostile fate, vanquished, pursued, helpless, my sceptre lost, flying from sea to sea, less king than pirate, the name of Mithridates only left me. Know that that name alone, renowned in story, would win for me the world's admiring gaze. There would not be a king worthy to reign, who, seated on his throne, would not prefer to royal splendor my more glorious ruin, which Rome in 40 years have scarce effected. With other eyes would you yourself behold me, if in your soul your Grecian sires revived, and since, in fine, your husband I must be, were it not nobler, worthier of yourself, to freely choose what you accept from duty, oppose to fortune's buffets your esteem, and, soothing my distress, give me a balm against despair that dogs misfortune's steps. What, madam, have you no reply to make? Serves all my ardor only to confound you? Still you are dumb, and, even worse than silence, I see, though you would hide them, rising tears.
Oh no, my lord, I have no tears to shed. Have you not had my answer? I obey. And is it not enough?
Nay, it is not. I understand this better than you think. I see they told me true. Just jealousy, by your own words, is but too well confirmed. A faithless son, smitten by such rare beauty, I see has wooed and finds a willing ear. New terrors now I waken in your breast, for him, but not for long shall he enjoy your care. If my commands are heeded still, on him your faithless eyes have looked their last. Call Zephyrus.
Alas, what will you do?
Zephyrus has not betrayed his father. You need not be so eager to disown him. He has done nothing to estrange my love. Your crime were less, as less would be my shame, if one so worthy of your high regard had roused some touches of yet warmer feelings. But that a traitor bold in disobedience, in whom no virtue palliates presumption, that Pharnaces forsooth should thus supplant me, that he should be beloved, and I detested.
Scene 5. Mithridates, Monima, Ziphares.
Come, my son, come. Your father is betrayed. I have a son who dares to mock my ruin, thwarts my designs, inflicts a fatal wound. I to my queen makes love and wins her favor, stealing a heart she owes to me alone. Yet am I happy in this deep dishonor, to blame no other son than Pharnaces, to know a mother's treason and a brother's audacious plots have failed to make you swerve from duty. Yes, my son, on you alone I lean, and long have chosen you to be the worthy comrade of my great designs, heir of my sceptre and my glorious name. Not now may Pharnaces and outraged love engross my thoughts. The careful preparation for an important enterprise, my ships which I must hold in readiness to sail, my soldiers whose devotion I would try, demand my presence at this very hour. Do you, however, here keep watch for me, and foil the plots of an insidious rival, nor quit the queen, but strive to overcome her opposition to a king who loves her. Dissuade her from a choice iniquitous, and your unbiased judgment will convince her better than I can. She has proved my weakness. Let her not try that tenderness too far, or it may turn to fury, unrepented, till vengeance has atoned for wrong resented.
Scene 6. Monima, Ziphares.
What shall I say? How may I understand this charge, these words incomprehensible? Great gods! Can it be true that Pharnaces, too dear to you, indeed deserves this rage? That your distress is all for Pharnaces?
For Pharnaces? Why speak of Pharnaces? Heavens! Is it not enough that this sad day robs me of all I loved for evermore, and that I find myself the slave of duty, fast bound with chains of sorrow and despair? Must this last insult to my grief be added, that I be thought to weep for Pharnaces, in spite of all my hatred deemed too dear? I can forgive the king blinded by anger, to him my heart must never be revealed. But you, my lord, but you, to treat me so!
Ah, madam, pardon a distracted lover, who himself, bound by cruel bonds of duty, sees threatened loss of all, nor dares take vengeance. But how am I to judge of the king's fury? What other love is this with his conflicting? Who then can be this happy criminal? Speak!
Why so ready to increase your woe with self-inflicted torture?
Ay, these fears add pangs, to which it were a light affliction, to see her whom I love, my father's bride, to see a rival honored with your tears. This is indeed my crowning agony. But in despair I fain would know the worst. Tell me, for pity's sake, who is this lover, and change suspicion into certainty.
Is it so hard for you to guess the truth? Just now, when I sought refuge from constraint of power unjust, to whom did I appeal? On whose kind succor did my heart rely? Whose words of love heard I without displeasure?
Heavens! Can it be that I am the lucky culprit, whom you are pleased to look upon with favor? Was it for Ziphares you deigned to weep?
Yes, prince, I cannot keep the secret longer. My sorrow is too violent for silence. Though duty's stern decree condemns my tongue, yet must I violate her harsh commands, and utter for the first time, and the last, the language of my heart. Long have you loved me, long has an equal tenderness for you moved me with sad concern. Retrace the time when first you owned affection for these charms unworthy of your praise, The short-lived hope, the trouble that your father's passion raised, tortured to lose me and to see him blessed, to bow to duty when your heart was torn. You cannot, Prince, recall those memories without repeating in your own misfortunes my story too. And when I heard this morning your tale, my heart responded to it all. Futile, or rather fatal sympathy, union too perfect to be realized. Ah, with what cruel care did heaven entwine two hearts it never destined for each other! For howsoever my heart is drawn to yours, I tell you once for all, where honour leads I needs must follow, even to the altar, to swear to you an everlasting silence. I hear you groan. But miserable fate, your father claims me. I may never be yours. You must yourself support my feeble will, and help me from my heart to banish you. Let me at least rely upon your kindness my presence to avoid henceforth forever. Have I not said enough, sir, to persuade you how many reasons urge you to obey me? After this moment, if that gallant heart has ever felt true love for Monima, I will not recognize its loyalty, save by the care you take to shun me always.
Great gods! How terrible a test of love, ill-starred! How happiness and misery are mine at once! From what a glorious height to what an awful gulf you cast me down! Have I prevailed to touch a heart like yours, and won your love, only to see another possess that heart which fondly clings to mine? Father unjust and cruel, but withal unhappy too. So you would have me fly, and yet the king has bidden me attend you. What will he say?
It matters not. Obey me. Contrive such reasons as may blind his eyes. Prove your heroic nature by an effort supreme. And for your own self-sacrifice tax quick invention, as less noble lovers have done to gratify their cherished hopes. Weak as I know myself, with life at stake, I cannot but distrust my strongest efforts. The sight of you would wake fond memories, and guilty sighs betray the aching heart which, torn asunder by a secret strife, would fain fly back to you, powerless to bear its separation. But if it depends on you to make me cherish thoughts so sweet, I know you will do nothing to prevent me from vindicating straight offended honour. When searching for your image in my heart, my hand shall tear it thence, and leave me free from shame. But while yet a few brief moments are left us, how I take a fatal pleasure in seeking to prolong the risk I shun, and wish the more I speak for one word more. Oh, but I needs must force myself to fly, nor lose in parting words the feeble relics of firmness. Prince, I go. Farewell. Remember, see me no more. Prove worthy of my tears.
Ah, madam! She is gone. She will not hear me. Unhappy Zephyris, what wilt thou do? Banished and yet beloved? One thing is clear, the path of duty is for her and thee the same. Swift death must end this agony, yet till her fate is certain, let me wait. And if a rival Monima must own, dying, I'll yield her to the king alone.
End of Act 2. Act 3 of Mithridates by Jean Racine. Translated by Robert Bruce Boswell. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Act 3, Scene 1. Mithridates, Pharnaces, Zephyres.
Draw near, my sons, at last the hour is come, my secret purpose to display before you. All things conspire to aid this noble venture. Nothing remains but to inform you of it. I am a fugitive, so hostile fortune has willed, but my life's history you know too well to think that, long courting concealment, I should await my hunters in these deserts. War has its favors as it has its losses, already more than once my course retracing, while, by my flight deceived, the foe in triumph rode through the streets of Rome mid idle plaudits, and graving his vain victories on brass, displayed my conquered realms in captive chains. The Bosphorus has seen me with fresh fleets, swarming from all her marshes, spreading terror, and from astonished Asia, chasing Rome's battalions back, undoing in a day work of a year. New times demand new cares. Fiercer attacks have overwhelmed the East. Its plains are covered with yet vaster hosts of Romans, whom the war at our expense enriches. Greedy of all nations' wealth, our rumored hordes have drawn the robbers thither. In crowds they rush, each of his neighbor jealous, leaving their own to inundate our land. I only dare resist. Worn or subdued, all my allies discard my fatal friendship, a burden that their heads can ill support. Pompey's great name makes his success assured. All Asia's dread. I will not seek him there. Nay, 'tis to Rome, my sons, I mean to march. Surprised at this bold stroke, you think perhaps despair alone can give it birth to-day. I pardon your mistake. Projects like this seem folly till successfully accomplished. Do not suppose that Rome from us is parted by ramparts of eternal separation. I know each mountain pass that I must traverse, and, if not thwarted by untimely death, instead not set it farther 3 months hence, and you shall mount the Capitol with me. 2 days upon the Euxine, never doubt it, will waft us westward to the Danube's mouth. Scythia with me has sworn a strict alliance, which lays the entrance into Europe open. There, gathering our forces in their ports, their troops will join our ranks, and at each step, Dacians, Pannonians, Germans swell our numbers, all wait but for a leader to repel the common tyrant. Have not Spain and Gaul sought to excite my vengeance 'gainst those walls that Brennus once laid low? Yea, Greece herself has by her envoys months blamed me for lack of vigor, ready to overflow on them, this torrent, bearing me along, they know will whelm them all. And to prevent its ravage, they'll guide and follow me to Italy. There will you find Rome's name in horror held supreme, the fires still smouldering through the land which Freedom kindled with her dying breath. No, princes, 'tis not in earth's realms remote Rome's galling fetters weigh most heavily. The nearer that she is, the more abhorred. Rome's greatest enemies are at her gates. Ah, if they choose to free them from her yoke, vile Spartacus, the gladiator's slave, and followed vengeance with a band of robbers, think with what noble ardor will their ranks march 'neath the colors of a conquering king, whose royal line from Cyrus boasts descent. Think, too, how we will take her by surprise, stripped of the legions that might else defend her, were they not all busied in my pursuit. Will babes and women have the power to stop me? Let us march on, and carry to her heart the havoc which she spreads from east to west. Let those proud conquerors crouch behind their walls, and tremble in their turn for hearth and home. Let us believe what Hannibal predicted. The Romans, save in Rome, will ne'er be vanquished. Let her own blood in righteous torrents drown her, and let the Capitol that thought to see me in chains to ashes sink. Let us destroy its glory, and blot out the shame of kings of every tribe and nation with my own. Let fire consume all those illustrious names, devoted there to endless infamy. Lo, this is the ambition that has seized me. But think not I will suffer Rome in peace to lord it over Asia in my absence. I know where I shall find her stout defenders. Rome, everywhere surrounded by fierce foes, shall call in vain on Pompey to relieve her. The Parthian, named dreadful to Rome as mine, is ready to take up my righteous quarrel, to seal this bond with union of our blood. He asks of me a son to wed his daughter. I for this honor have made choice of you, my Pharnesus. Go, be the happy bridegroom. No longer I delay. Tomorrow's dawn shall see my ships far from the Bosphorus. Go you at once, since nothing here detains you, and let your ardor justify my choice. The marriage rites performed, recross Euphrates, let Asia see another Mithridates, and terror blanch the faces of our foes, while I at Rome rejoice to hear the tidings.
Sir, you surprise me, and I cannot hide it. This grand attempt I hear with admiration. A bolder project never yet was broached to make the vanquished turn the tide of war. That dauntless heart in you I most admire, which seems to rise more strong for being crushed. And yet, if I may dare to speak with frankness, are you reduced to this extremity? Why go so far on such a desperate errand, while still your states offer a safe asylum? Why undertake so difficult a task, fitter for leader of a band of exiles than for a monarch on whose banners hope so lately smiled, where'er he appeared? Who founded upon 30 states the throne whose ruin leaves a mighty empire yet? You, after 20 years, you, only you, have courage left to struggle against fate. To roam, and to repose relentless foe, count not on troops heroic as yourself. Think not that hearts made timid by disaster, worn out with hardships and a long retreat, are eager to meet death 'neath foreign skies, encountering toils more terrible than dangers. If routed when their country's eyes were on them, how will they meet the conqueror's fury there, in his own city, with his gods before him? Will he strike less alarm, or yield himself an easier prey? So Parthia seeks alliance with you in marriage. Prompt to lend her aid when all the world seemed our support, will she receive a son-in-law poor and defenseless? What? Shall I go an outcast and alone, to prove the Parthian faithless as of yore, and haply, as the fruit of match so hasty, expose your credit to his court's contempt? At least, if stoop we must, if we must borrow the unaccustomed gestures of a suppliant, send me not to embrace the Parthian's knees, nor beg from kings whose power is less than yours. Can we not take a surer course than that? And, falling into arms of joyful welcome, Rome, readily appeased, will grant us favor.
Rome, does my brother then dare to propose such a base humiliation to the king, as in one day to make his life's long course a lie, to trust the Romans, and submit to tyranny for 40 years resisted? Onward, my father. Vanquished as you are, war and its perils are your only refuge. Rome has in you a fatal foe, whose oath is more implacable than Hannibal's. All crimson with her blood, do what you may, ne'er look for peace, but through such butchery as on a single day in Asia blasted 100,000 Romans by your order. Yet spare your own inviolable head. March not yourself from land to land, nor show to gaping nations Mithridates humbled, darkening the brilliant luster of your name. The vengeance you must execute is just. Lay Rome in ruins, burn the Capitol, but 'tis enough for you to point the way. To younger hands pass on the fiery torch, and while my brother keeps control of Asia, honor my courage with this high exploit. Give the command, and let us justify our title as your sons, heirs of your name. Through all the world set east and west in flames, while still you tarry in the Bosphorus, and Rome hard pressed on every side alike shall find you omnipresent to destroy her. This very moment order me to start. All that detains you here urges my flight. And if this enterprise surpass my powers, such hope forlorn befits my evil case. Yes, I will go, too glad to end my woes. So soon I will erase my mother's crime, that makes me blush my sire here at your knees, ashamed to know myself a son of hers. Scarce all my blood can wash away that stain. Only let me by death enhance your glory, and Rome, the object of my grand despair, shall to the son of Mithridates offer a worthy tomb.
Mithridates rising.
My son, let us not speak of her again. Your father is content. He knows your zeal, nor will he have you face dangers that his affection will not share. Nothing shall part us. You shall follow me. And you, prepare yourself, prince, to obey. The ships are ready. I myself have ordered the train and the equipment you require. Arbates, charged to bring you to your bride, will let me know how you perform your duty. Go, and maintaining your ancestral honor, in this embrace receive your sire's farewell.
Sir,
Let the expression of my will suffice you. Obey. It were superfluous to repeat it.
sir, might it please you to accept my death? None shall be found more eager to embrace it. Let me fall fighting in your ranks before you.
I have commanded you to start directly, and if you linger, prince, you hear my voice, answer me not, or do it at your peril.
If you should hold 1,000 deaths in prospect, I could not seek a maiden whom I know not. My life is in your hands.
Ha! As I thought, you cannot go. I understand you, traitor. I know what makes you shun this marriage. Here you have a quarry you are loath to leave. 'Tis Monima detains you, guilty love, moved you to tear her from your father's arms. Neither the warmth with which you know I wooed her, nor yet my diadem that decks her brow, nor this retreat selected for her safety, nor fear of my just wrath had force to check you. Was then your treacherous sympathy with Rome offence so venial in your father's eyes, that this perfidious passion still was wanting to render you the horror of my life? Far from repentance on your face I see, confusion due to rage and disappointment. You long already, from my hands escaping, to sell me to the Romans and secure my ruin. But to justice I'll defer departure. Ho there, guards!
Scene 2. Mithridates, Pharnaces, Ziphares, guards.
Arrest the traitor. Ay, him there, Pharnaces. Go, quit him not till you have locked him safely in the tower.
'Twere idle to assert me innocent. Yes, it is true, my love deserves your hatred. My love is hers. You have been told the truth. But Ziphares has not revealed the whole. What he has said is less than what he hides. And this devoted son should have informed you that he, long smitten with the self-same passion, loves the queen also, and is loved by her.
Scene 3. Mithridates, Ziphares.
Sir, can you think me guilty of a scheme?
My son, I know your brother's villainy. May heaven preserve me ever from suspecting that you could make so cruel a return for all my kindness, that a son so dear could have betrayed a father's trusting heart. I'll not believe it. Go, far be the thought. Henceforth be all my mind bent upon vengeance.
Scene 4. Mithridates.
I'll not believe it? Vainly flattering hope. You do believe it, wretched Mithridates. Is Zephyrus my rival? Does the queen conspire with him? And dare she to deceive me? On whatsoever side I turn mine eyes, all hearts have lost their loyalty to me. Friendless without, within my home betrayed. Pharnesus, Monima, and thou my son, thou too, whose virtue solaced my disgrace. But know I not this Pharnesus a traitor? How weak am I to trust his baffled fury, whom spite and envy arm against his brother, or whose despair, inventing idle tales, to save himself would make all others guilty. Nay, I'll believe him not, nor be too hasty, but probe the truth. Yet where shall I begin? Whose witness will convince me? By what proofs? Ha! Heaven inspires me with a sudden thought. I'll call the queen. Yes, without going further, I'll hear her and rely upon her witness. Love greedily believes what gives it pleasure. If he has won her heart, none else so can show it. Let me see which of the two her love will charge. They have deserved a snare I scorn to use. 'Tis lawful to deceive deceivers, and to unmask treachery. But here she comes. A skilful falsehood now shall mock her hopes and make her truth a vow.
Scene 5. Monima, Mithridates.
My eyes at last are open, and I own the claims of justice. 'Twere a sorry gift to charms so rare to offer you a hand, burdened with age and a long train of troubles. Fortune and victory have heretofore with 30 crowns concealed my hoary head, but it is so no longer. Once a king, I am a fugitive, old and disgraced. My brow, despoiled of all its royal honors, too plainly shows the ravages of time. Besides all that, 1,000 schemes engross my care. You hear the shouts of troops prepared to start forthwith. Once more I man the vessels that brought us. Nuptial rites would ill consort with hurried flight. Nor can I let you share my shattered fortunes in this desperate quest. But think no more of Pharnesus, for justice claims sacrifice on your part as on mine. I will not suffer this rebellious son, whom I have banished from my sight forever, to own a heart which was denied to me, and bring it into friendship with the Romans. My throne is due to you. Far from regretting the gift, there will I place you ere I go. If only you consent that one so dear to me, a son worthy a father's love, that Zephyrus in short shall take my place, wed you, and wreak my vengeance on the traitor.
Who? Zephyrus, my lord?
Ay, madam, he. Whence comes this agitation at his name? What leads you to object to choice so just? Is it disdain that reason cannot quell? He, I repeat it, is my second self, victorious in the field, a son who loves me, by me beloved, the foe of Rome, the heir of my renown, that will revive in him. And whatsoever pledge you may have taken, 'tis only to his hands that I'll resign you."
What say you? Gracious heaven, can you approve? Oh, why, my lord, why try me so severely? Cease to torment a soul unfortunate. I know that I was destined to be yours. I know this very moment at the altar the victim stands to seal our marriage bond. Come.
"I see clearly, do whatever I may, you fain would keep yourself for Pharnesis. I find your scorn is as unjust as ever, passing from me to my unhappy son."
I scorn him.
"Let us speak of it no more. Pursue the shameful flame that lures you on, while with my son far from your sight I go to the world's end, seeking a glorious death. Stay here to share his brother's degradation, and to the Romans sell a father's blood. Come, can I better punish your disdain than by committing you to hands so vile? No longer shall your honor be to me matter of moment. You shall be forgotten. Come, madam, I am going to unite you."
Punish me rather with 1,000 deaths.
"Mere subterfuge, 'tis idle to resist."
To what extremity am I reduced? But after all, I cannot think that you could force yourself so long to act a part. Heaven is my witness that I aimed to please you, and to its destiny my soul submitted. But if to any weakness I had yielded, had I been bound to fortify my heart against alarm, believe me, my good lord, I never had shed a tear for Pharnaces. The son whom you esteem, whose image lives within your heart, whose victories have curbed the insolence of Rome, your second self, that Zepharis whom you would have me love.
"You love him?"
Had the fates not made me yours, to be his bride were happiness supreme. Before this pledge of your affection reached me, we loved each other. You change countenance.
"No, no, it is enough. Go, and I'll send him to you. I must be busy. Time is precious. I see that you are willing to obey me. I am content."
Monima going away.
Heaven grant this be no trick.
Scene 6. Mithridates.
They love each other. I have been befooled. Ah, thou ungrateful son, thy death shall pay for all. I know how thou hast stolen from me my soldiers' hearts by virtues well assumed and martial glory. But my stroke shall fall sure on the traitor. I will scatter far the seeds of mutiny, forestall rebellion, and keep no troops but such as I can trust. But I must still dissimulate nor go hence with a frown that may displeasure show.
End of Act 3. Act 4 of Mithridates by Jean Racine. Translated by Robert Bruce Boswell. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Act 4, Scene 1. Monima Fodima.
Oh, in the name of heaven, dear Fidima, do what I wish, see what is going on, and bring me word. My heart is ill at ease, torn by 1,000 terrible suspicions. Why tarries Zepharis? What holds him back, now when his father's sanction crowns his vows? His father said that he would send him hither, but may he not have feigned, finding it needful to disavow the truth, while I disclosed my inmost heart? Has heaven abandoned me, and suffered my unguarded love to bring upon my lover's head the king's resentment? When thou, dear prince, with passionate entreaty didst urge me to confess my cherished secret, full 20 times I cruelly refused, and even punished thee for having torn the veil aside. Yet when thy sire perchance distrusts thee, when thy very life's in danger, I speak, and but too easily deceived point out the fatal spot to pierce thy heart.
Nay, madam, treat the king with less injustice. He is too great to stoop to tricks so mean. What need was his to tread the paths of guile? Before him to the altar you were bound without a murmur. Would he slay a son so fondly loved? Nothing has passed to show his promise false. He told you that a scheme momentous must tomorrow take him hence against his will. This occupies his thoughts, and, hastening his departure, on the shore he orders all himself, and mans his ships, while Zephares accompanies his steps where'er he goes. Is this a rival's fury? What has he done to contradict his words?
Yet Pharnaces, arrested by his order, finds him a rival harsh and unrelenting. Will Zephares be treated with more favour?
He punishes in him the friend of Rome. His just displeasure needs no other spur.
I grant you right, and so far as I can believe you. Grief grows calmer while you speak. But Zephares still comes not. Why is this?
Lovers expect too much. Fain would they have all things give way to feed their fond desires, chafing against the smallest obstacle.
Who could conceive this marvel, Fidima, after 2 years of sorrow? You know how sore a burden. I can breathe once more. Dear prince, shall I indeed see thee, mine own? And so far from endangering thy life, may I admit a love so long resisted, as consonant with duty and with virtue? May I each day assure thee that I love thee? Oh, why comes he not?
Scene 2. Monima, Zephares, Fadima.
Of you, sir, I was speaking, and longing in my heart to see you here, to tell you—
I must now bid you farewell.
Farewell?
Yes, madam, and for all my life.
What say you? I was told— I have been betrayed.
Madam, I know not what insidious foe has sought my ruin and betrayed our secrets, but now the king whom Pharnaces in vain tried to inflame against us knows our hearts. He hides his purpose under mock caresses, but I brought up as I have been beside him, and grown familiar with his every mood, have read approaching vengeance in his looks. He sends away in haste all whom my woes might rouse to indignation and revolt. I see how forced and false are all his favours. Arbates by a single word confirmed my dread, and thus with tearful eyes addressed me. Save yourself, fly, said he, for all is known. This made me shudder at the thought of danger to you. 'Tis that concern which brings me hither. I fear what you may do, and on my knees entreat you to have pity on yourself. Your life is in the power of one whose rage too seldom spares the blood he holds most dear. I dare not tell you to what cruelty the jealousy of Mithridates oft impels him. It may be that I alone incur his wrath, and he will pardon you. Deign to appease him in the name of heaven. Do not provoke him by a fresh refusal. The less you love him, strive the more to win his favour. Hide your feelings, and remember he is my father. Be content to live, and leave my woe this solace, that your tears are all that I have cost you.
Oh, this I have ruined you.
My noble Monima, blame not your kindness for the ills that crush me. I am a wretch whom evil fate pursues. 'Tis she who robs me of my father's love, makes him my rival, made my mother rise against him, and has roused a secret foe at this disastrous moment to betray us.
What? Is the traitor still to you unknown?
To add to my distress, I know him not. Happy were I if, ere my own destruction, I might transfix that false and treacherous heart.
Then from my lips learn who this monster is. It needs not to search far to find your foe. Let not regard restrain you. Strike, my lord. The guilt is mine. 'Tis me you have to punish.
You?
With what depth of cunning cruelty he took my tender feelings by surprise. How well did he affect to love you truly. So pleased he seemed that I should be your bride. Who would have thought? But no. Love should have been more cautious than to trust to specious falsehood. The gods whose guidance I followed ill thrice warned me secretly to hold my peace. I should have still kept silence, and maintained, yes, it is I have been your evil fate. I should have dreaded that his gifts were poisoned, and should you pardon me, I shall become my own tormentor.
Was it then your love exposed me to this storm? Spring's bitterness from source so sweet? And has excess of fondness betrayed our secret? To have made me happy needs no excuse. What would I more? I die, faithful and proud. Another fate invites you to the throne. No more resist that summons. Wed Mithridates, and consent to reign.
What? Do you ask me to espouse a savage whose hateful love parts you and me forever?
Remember, you are pledged to be his bride this morning, and to see me nevermore.
Ah, then I knew not all his cruelty. What? Shall I lend my sanction to his fury, and after I have seen his dagger pierce you, follow a tyrant to the marriage altar, and in a hand yet reeking with your blood place mine? Alas, the hand you love to hold! Go, seek some shelter from your father's rage, nor in vain efforts to persuade me lose the precious moments here. The gods will teach me what part to play. If he surprised you now, I hear a step, quick ere it be too late, and live in patience till you learn my fate.
Scene 3. Monima for Dema.
Oh, what a risk, dear madam, did he run! It is the king!
Go, help him to make good his exit. Leave him not, make him secure his safety without learning what befalls me.
Scene 4. Mithridates, Monima.
Come, madam, come. I have a secret reason for hastening my departure from this place. While my devoted troops embark once more, ready to follow me where'er I go, come, at the altar be my promise sealed. Let wedlock in eternal bonds unite us.
Us, sire?
You surely dare not hesitate.
Did you not bid me cease to think of it?
I had my reasons then. Forget it, madam. Think only now of answering my flame. Your heart, remember, is my property.
Why then, sire, did you give it back to me?
What? Still enamored of my faithless son? You could not think.
Have you deceived me then?
It well becomes a traitress to talk thus, who nursing in her heart illicit loves, when I was raising her to glory's heights, the blackest treason had prepared for me. Have you forgotten, false, ungrateful woman? Worse than the Romans, my sworn enemies, from what exalted rank I dared to stoop, to offer you a throne, little expected. See me not as I am, defeated, hunted, but as I was, victorious and renowned. Think how, in Ephesus, I you preferred to all the daughters of 100 kings, and, for your sake neglecting their alliance, laid at your feet innumerable realms. Ah, if the vision of another love made you insensible to gifts so splendid, why did you leave your home to find a husband you hated, keeping silence till to-day? Did you postpone confession so unwelcome, till fate had robbed me of all other treasure, till, whelmed beneath a flood of countless evils, I had no hope of happiness but you? And now, when I am willing to forgive the grievous wrong and bury its remembrance, dare you to bring the past before my eyes, again accusing him whom you have injured? I see infatuation for a traitor flatters your hopes. Gods, how ye try my patience! What was the secret charm that checked a wrath so prompt to punish with severity? Seize the brief moment that my love affords you. Come, this shall be my last appeal, nor draw superfluous perils on your head for one whom you shall never see again, a son who scorns me. Boast not of your faith to him, 'tis due to me. Let him be lost to mind as well as sight, and henceforth, by your sense of gratitude, deserve this proffered pardon.
My lord, not unremembered is the bounty that should have claimed my loyalest obedience. Whatever rank my ancestors attained of yore, their distant glory dazzled not my eyes that recognize how far beneath so glorious a bridegroom I was born. And in despite of early predilection for Ziphares, the noblest of mankind after yourself, when once this diadem my brow adorned, him and my former love did I renounce, for both agreed to make the sacrifice. By my command he left me. The secret flame was dying in my breast, nor did my lot seem one to be deplored, since at the cost of vows once fondly cherished I could bring happiness to such a hero. 'Twas you, my lord, 'twas you yourself who tore the bond between us, set me free again. That fatal love which I had crushed and conquered, the flame I deemed extinguished and forgotten when he who kindled it was gone forever, your wiles detected, and I cannot now disown what I confessed. You cannot raise its memory. The shame of that avowal to which you forced me will abide forever present before my mind, and I should think that you were always of my faith uncertain. The grave itself to me were less abhorrent than marriage bed shared with a spouse who took cruel advantage of my simple trust, and to destroy my peace forever fan the flame that fired my cheek for other love than his.
Is this your answer, then? Do you reject the honor I would fain confer? Ponder it well, while yet the choice is yours.
No, sire, 'tis vain to work upon my fears. I know you, nor am ignorant what woes I for myself prepare. I see them all, but I'm resolved, and naught can shake my purpose. Judge for yourself, since thus I dare to speak, and in my zeal forget that modesty by which till now I ever curbed my tongue. You from my hand unwitting took the knife to stab a son whose secret I betrayed, a son whose passion bore no stain of guilt, and though he only feared to lose your love, his death must follow. Faith or love from me shall never reward such crooked cruelty. Let this decide your action. Slay a rebel. You have me in your power, spare not to use it. You can command, and I can wait the sentence. I beg but one thing ere I take my leave. Justice demands this tribute to desert. Believe me the sole traitor. No accomplice have I, and full success would crown your wishes, did I but heed the wishes of your son.
Scene 5. Mithridates.
She leaves me, and in silence, like a coward, I seem to sanction her audacious flight. My heart is almost ready to pronounce myself too cruel, and to take her side. Who am I? Is this Monima? Am I no longer Mithridates? Rage returns. No lingering love shall make me pardon her. 3 wretched victims shall appease my fury. At once, ere I set sail with Rome before me, this sacrifice shall render heaven propitious. 'Tis right, 'tis easy, all the most seditious, who might have helped them have been far removed. No matter which I love or which I hate, first Xiphares himself shall meet his fate. What am I saying? These are words of madness. Who is it thou wilt sacrifice? Thy son, the dread of Rome, who may avenge his sire? Why should I shed blood to myself so precious? Ah, fallen as I am, and brought so low, find I those friends too many who are left me? Nay, let me rather foster his affection. I need a sword of vengeance, not a mistress. Since I must lose her, would it not be better to yield her to this son, whose life I value? Ay, let me give her up. A vain attempt that only shows how feeble is the heart, which seeks its own deception. Still inflamed, it will not cease. Ah, hers is guilt beyond pardon, but pity checks my timid hand. Have I not punished others who were found less faithless? O my Monima, my son, O futile wrath, what triumph, Rome, were thine, if thou shouldst hear the tidings of my shame, and how conflicting feelings thus unman me! What pains I took, fearing domestic treason, to arm my life against all kinds of poison. By long and careful study I have learned how best to neutralize their fatal power. Ah, 'twould have been a wiser, happier course, forestalling danger from the assaults of love, to fortify a heart already frozen by age. 'Gainst passion's hot envenomed cup, how shall I escape these toils that close round me?
Scene 6. Mithridates, Arbates.
Sire, all your troops refuse to go, detained by Pharnaces, who has to them revealed that for fresh warfare you are bound for Rome.
What? Pharnaces?
His guards he first seduced, and the mere name of Rome alarms the boldest. 1,000 frightful dangers they imagine. Some, in their vehemence, embrace the shore. Others, who were aboard, plunge in the waves, or flash their weapons in the sailors' eyes. Confusion reigns, our orders disregarded. Peace they demand, and talk of self-surrender, and Pharnaces, who flatters all their wishes, heads them, and offers in the name of Rome the peace they seek.
Traitor, let Xiphares be summoned quickly. Let him follow me, and lend me succor.
What he means I know not, but to the port he suddenly has flown, and, followed by a band of trusty friends, they say he has been seen among the rebels, and that is all I know.
What news is this? Traitors! Too long has vengeance been delayed. I fear them not. Despite their insolence, my presence will put down this mutiny. Ah, let me only see them, and before their eyes this hand shall slay 2 impious sons.
Scene 7. Mithridates, Arbates, Arcas.
Sire, all is lost. The rebels, Pharnaces, the Romans, all are crowding thick around us.
The Romans!
Aye, the shore is full of them, and you will be beleaguered here full soon.
Hence, then, in heaven's name!
To Monima.
Hear me, perjured princess. No profit shall you reap from my misfortune.
End of Act 4. Act 5 of Mithridates by Jean Racine. Translated by Robert Bruce Boswell. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Act 5, Scene 1. Monima Fedima.
Whither, dear madam, haste you? What blind passion makes you lay impious hands upon yourself? What? You have tried with criminal intent to desecrate this sacred diadem. See how kind heaven, more merciful than you, this fatal noose has broken in your hands.
Why will you obstinately thwart my wishes? I long to die. Why would you have me live? My Zipharis is dead. The king's despair looks for naught better than assured destruction. What fruit expect you from your rude presumption? Mean you to give me up to Pharnaces?
Ah, wait at least till tidings of whose truth we cannot doubt confirm his brother's death. May it not be that, in the wild confusion of which we hear, men's eyes have been deceived? At first, you know, a scandalous report ranged Zephyrus upon the rebel side, and now they tell us these same mutineers in cruel rage have turned their arms against him. One tale confutes the other. Deign to listen.
Nay, Zipharis is dead, I cannot doubt it. Nor has the event belied my expectation. Even if the fatal news had failed to reach me, his death were no less sure. I know his courage, and how his name is hateful to the Romans. Long have they thirsted for such noble blood. Rome's triumph now, alas, is but too certain. What enemy opposed his hand to theirs? Wretch that I am, I dare not shift the blame on others. Monima, to thee he owes his woeful fate. Open thine eyes and see thy guilt in all his sufferings. Thou hast armed a host against his life. How could he scape so many blows? The Romans and his brother were not enough. I to his father's wrath exposed him. I, the fatal torch of discord, the fury that Rome's demon bred and nursed to aid them. I it was who fanned the fire of mutual jealousy to conflagration. Yet do I live, and wait till Pharnaces, bespattered with their blood, comes in the train of Roman victors, and before mine eyes displays his savage joy. Death to despair opens more ways than one. Your cruel kindness in vain would bar swift passage to the tomb. Even in your arms I shall not miss the goal. Thou fatal band, ill-omened diadem, the instrument and witness of my woes, 1,000 times bedewed with scalding tears, couldst thou not do me this poor piece of service to rid me of my life and all its anguish? Go, object hateful to my weary eyes. Some other instrument will aid me better. Perish the day, cursed be the fatal hand that bound thee first upon this aching brow.
See, Arcas comes. Heaven grant that he appears with tidings which may banish all your fears.
Scene 2. Monima Fedima Arcas.
Say, is all over? And has Pharnaces?
Ask me not what has happened. I am charged with sterner duty, madam, and this poison sent by the king tells you his will and pleasure.
Unhappy princess!
Oh, surpassing joy! Give it me, Arcas. Tell the king who sends it, of all the gifts his bounty has bestowed, this is the one most welcome, most desired. I breathe at last with freedom, saved by heaven from those whose irksome care forced me to live. For once he leaves me mistress of my fate, nor interferes to check me in my choice.
Alas!
Repress your cries. This happy moment must not be troubled with unworthy tears. Your love, my Fedima, had better cause to weep when I was honored with a title pregnant with woe, when torn from my sweet home they dragged your mistress to this savage clime. Now to that happy land return, and should the name of Monima be there remembered, say what you see, tell the sad history of all my glory, faithful Fedima. And thou, with whom, parted by envious fate forever from a heart that held thee dear, I may not ask even to share the tomb to which I go. Receive this sacrifice, heroic soul, and may this poison now be my atonement for my lover's blood.
Scene 3. Monima, Arbates, Phedima, Arcas.
Stop! Stop!
What is it that you do, Arbates?
Stop! I'm the bearer of the king's command.
Ah, leave me!
Arbates, throwing down the poison.
Cease, I tell you. Suffer me to execute the pleasure of the king. Live, madam. Haste to Mithridates, Arcas. Tell him success has crowned my zealous service.
Scene 4. Monima, Arbates, Phedima.
Cruel Arbates, why prolong the woes I suffer? Was my punishment too mild? And does the king grudge me an end so sudden? A single death too little to content him?
You soon shall see him, and I feel assured your tears for him will mingle with mine own.
What? Is the king?
The king's last hour draws nigh. His eyes will never see another sun. I left him bleeding, borne upon a litter, and, weeping, by his side went Zephares.
Great heavens! Zephares? Am I awake? I tremble and can scarce believe mine ears. Is he yet living? Zephares, for whom—
He lives, with glory crowned, with grief overwhelmed. The tidings of his death, here spread abroad, not you alone have needlessly alarmed. The Romans, crying out in all directions the fatal news, chilled every hopeful heart. The king, himself deceived, shed bitter tears, and looking forward henceforth to defeat as certain, by a rebel son hard pressed, despairing of relief, and all but forced to yield, and seeing to increase his pangs the Roman eagle with his standards borne against him, to no higher aim aspired than to avoid the shame of a surrender into their hands alive. First he tried poisons, such as he knew most deadly in effect. He found them all harmless and impotent. Vain help, said he. Too long with anxious care this body have I strengthened to resist all poisons, baffled by my own success. Some aid more certain I must now attempt, and seek a death more fatal to my foes. He speaks, and bids the palace gates be thrown wide open, in defiance of their numbers. When they beheld those eyes whose noble fury had spread such frequent terror through their ranks, you might have seen them all fall back amazed, leaving wide interval between us and them, while some, already struck with panic, ran and sought a refuge in the ships that brought them. But reassured, oh heavens, by Pharnaces, and shame within their hearts awakening valour, they take fresh courage. They attack the king, bound whom I rallied a small band of heroes. Who could relate what feats incredible, while flashed his sword as fiercely as his eyes, his arm performed in this the closing scene that brought him to the pinnacle of glory? Weary at last, covered with blood and dust, he stood at bay behind a wall of corpses. Another force advanced in arms against us. The Romans all, ceasing to fight elsewhere, joined with united strength to overwhelm him. Then said he, Dear Arbates, 'tis enough. My fury has outrun my failing powers, yet never will I yield myself alive. So saying, in his breast he plunged his sword. But fate refused to free his mighty soul, and in my arms with gaping wound he lay, exhausted, chafing at death's slow approach, and vexed that life still lingered in his veins. He could not speak, but raised his heavy hand and laid it on his heart, as if to ask a surer stroke from me to make an end, while I, possessed with overmastering grief, was minded rather to destroy myself. With loud and sudden shouts the air was rent, and I beheld a sight most marvellous. From every quarter fled, routed, and vanquished the Romans to their ships with Pharnaces, and drawing near my dazzled eyes discerned victorious Zephares in hot pursuit.
Oh, heaven is just!
The faithful Ixares had by his brother's orders been surrounded when in the thickest of the fray, but he, after hard fighting, had at last escaped the rebels and regained his little band. E'en in the jaws of death, with keen delight across 1,000 corpses had he hewn his way victorious to his father's side. Alas! What horror to that joy succeeded! Lifeless he would have fallen at his feet, had we not rushed opposing his despair. The dying king at that sad moment fixed his eye on me, and said, with feeble voice, "Run, if there yet is time, and save the queen." My fears aroused for you, for Ixares, suspecting secret orders had been given, all weary as I was, alarm and zeal inspired fresh strength, and to my feet lent wings. And some relief it is, mid all our woe, thus to have warded off this latest blow.
Ah me! At this sad end of all his greatness, my horror-stricken heart is thrilled with pity. I would to heaven that I had had no share in such a consummation of disaster, and free from self-accusing thoughts might weep merely to witness woe so terrible. He comes. Ah, what a piteous sight appears! The father dying, and the son in tears.
Scene 5. Mithridates, Monima, Ziphares, Arbates, Phedima, Arcas, guards supporting Mithridates.
Alas, my lord, how dreadful is your fate!
Cease, and let both of you restrain your tears.
Pointing to Ziphares.
From his devotion and your tenderness I look for other feelings than compassion. My glory rather claims your admiration. Sully it not with sighs and lamentation. As far as in me lay, I have avenged the world, and death alone has balked my efforts to strike a mortal blow at tyranny. The enemy of Rome, I spurned her yoke, and in the roll of those heroic names, whose hatred has opposed her, mine will stand, preeminent for dear-bought victories, that fill her annals with unlucky days. 'Twas not in heaven's decrees that I should die, amidst the ashes and the wreck of Rome. But my last moments by this thought are soothed. Full many a foe has fallen, ere I fell. Full deeply have I dyed my hands with blood, and I have seen the Romans fly ere death darkens my sight. To Ziphares my son I owe this boon. He spares my dying eyes their hateful presence. To repay this service, my glorious empire in its palmiest days were not enough. And now for throne and sceptre I have but you. Let me present that gift, and all the love which for myself I claimed, I asked you to bestow on Ziphares.
Live, my dear lord, for the world's happiness. Live for her liberty, which rests on you alone. For triumph over your vanquished foes. For vengeance.
Madam, I have done with life. My son, secure your safety, nor attempt resistance against numbers so immense. Soon will the Romans, goaded on by shame, return and like a flood sweep all before them. Waste not the precious moments their retreat affords in vain devotion at my tomb. So many lifeless Romans lying round me are a sufficient tribute to my ashes. Your name and person for a time conceal. Go and reserve yourself.
How can I fly ere Pharnaces is punished? Let me curb the pride of Rome.
Nay, I command you hence. Sooner or later Pharnaces must perish. Trust to the Romans for his recompense. But strength is ebbing fast. I feel that life is all but ended. Come, my son, come nearer, and in a last embrace, full of sweet comfort, receive the parting soul of Mithridates.
He dies.
In grief let us united be, and search for vengeance over earth and sea.
End of Act 5. End of Mithridates by Jean Racine, translated by Robert Bruce Boswell.